Hey, Chachalino. Welcome. Can you hear me well? I'm doing well, and you? How is the full moon treating you? I believe it's a full moon, someone said, or I read somewhere that it was a full moon. Today, okay. So it's in Taurus, so look, to match the the Taurus aesthetic, I brought my romantic tarot with me. It's been a while since I brought it. This one I painted myself. It didn't came like this. But yeah, I wanted to use it for today's topic. So yeah, also another the Earth Oracle, literally. But yeah, to match today's topic. Then we could go back to the regular. I yet have to think about, not a creepy, but I have to think yet about an scorpionic topic. So, maybe it could be about secrets, it could be about the dark side, it could be about, the shadow, something, I just don't know how to call it yet, if I'm going to make a series out of this. I don't know how I'm going to call it. If you guys have any ideas, I should do a post about this to ask you guys. I should ask the Scorpio people in my community if I have a Scorpio people. I don't know if I have a Scorpio subscribers. I'm not sure. I believe I have one or two, but maybe their insight about a scorpionic topic would be interesting. Oh, I'm tired. We barely have any sun nowadays. Oh, is it getting colder already? Here is getting warmer, and I hate it. I am with my fan on. Today is a bit chilly because yesterday it rained, so it lowered a bit the temperature. But I'm sure it's going to rise at some point because yeah, we are in a spring over here. Jealousy, insecurity in partnership. Jealousy could be, but insecurity, I don't know, because I don't think that insecurity is a Scorpio trait. But maybe jealousy, possessiveness. Yeah, it could be. It could be interesting. Yeah, I'm going to write it down. So how are you? But are you resting? Like, are you besides the weather? Like, are you able to, or do you have a lot of things to do during the day or night? Mm. Yeah, you have a lot to do. Oh, can't wait for vacation. Even though I'm staying home due to university. Yeah, but at least you have a break, a sort of vacation from, the usual activities. Yeah. Fighting. You got this. When is your vacation? Is it? You don't have to be specific, but is it near or? Yeah, everyone is so tired. I am too. I am too. But this week it has been like a bit more lighter than last week that I had, longer classes, and I also had to finish. Also, I'm also having classes online that is very late during in the evening. So it's like I come home, and then I have to connect again, and then I had to help with my godson's birthday organization. So once I got that, and I'm like, thank God it's only him. Because if I had another ones, I don't know, I think that my social battery of last week it ran out. I need my me time. You have 2 weeks of work. The last 2 weeks of November. Okay, fighting. You got this. You got this. You got this. Yeah, I know that as it starts to get closer, and it feels like your body feels it, and you start feeling weaker because you know that it's coming closer. I remember at my other workplace, like every time I knew I was about to go on vacation, I started to get a bit, not lazy, but I would start doing things slowly, or just, even my energy to communicate, it would get like like more calm. I would stay silent, or I would just, I don't know, maybe, yeah, zoom out a bit. Because it's like your body knows that you are about to go into vacation, and it seems like it slows down. um, and yeah, you don't want to do you don't want to, it's like you have zero energy left. You are like participating, but it seems like you are already on vacation. You are already in the future. You are not here. Like I said, I'm not. I always used to warn my coworkers. I was like, my vacations are very close, are very soon. Don't count me. Don't count on me. I'm already gone. Yeah, I'm praying I don't get sick, which usually happens when I get time off. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, because in there your body starts to relax, and maybe that's because stress and everything. So yeah, I wish you the best vacations, that you are able to spend it the way you want to. I know you have to study, I'm sure, but just relax. Take the time for yourself. And also, going to university is, you are investing in yourself. So yeah, I know it feels like work, and it's challenging, but it's good for your future. Yes. And also listen to your body. If your body, starts feeling, if it gets sick or something, it's because, it needs time to be allowed to be a bit vulnerable. who is on my list for today, that is about aura, their aura, you know, why everyone falls in love with them, you know, and what makes them so attractive that, you know, they are someone's bias, for example, you know. Instead of being like, oh, why is that person your bias, you know, let's somehow let the cards explain what is it about them that draws so many people in. And I have Exo Baekhyun, I have GOT7 Jackson, or Jackson Wang, BTS Jin, I have two members of P1HARMONY. I have Jiung and Jongseob, P1HARMONY, TXT Yeonjun, NCT Mark, the actor Yoo Yeon Seok, Riize Anton, and Hwasa. No, I think we came up with this the other day. We were talking about this. Actually, Fluffy gave me the idea, but you know, she was like, you know, this. I had a similar reading to this, that it was about the bias. You know, why that person is your bias, probably. And she told me that actually I had personal readings, maybe on my Patreon, about, you know, you and your bias and why you choose them. So yeah, if it sounds familiar, maybe it's because it's inspired on that, you know, on their appeal, their charisma, their magnetism. You know, what is it about them that there's certain people or certain, you know, artists that always get chosen, you know, besides the you know, the obvious, that it can be physical, it can be their appearance, but maybe, you know, about their magnetism, if there's something else, you know. Yes. Yeah, no one requested an 80s member. Yeah, I read for Hyunjun. I read for Hyunjun last Sunday. Last Sunday I read for him. This on the Scorpio. This Sunday or the day before? But it was the Scorpio artist readings. I believe it was. Why? No, it was last Sunday. Last Sunday it was. Yeah, he's so hardworking. That man is so hardworking, he's literally a magician. He always has something creatively. I mean it. It's like that man is full of creation. Oh, he's doing a fashion show for his birthday. Okay, I'm going to start. I admire him so much. Okay. We're going to start with Exo Baekhyun. What? Wait up. My numbers are today are Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. He's a madam and no boundaries. Okay, let's begin with Exo Baekhyun. Let's see his aura explained, why everyone falls in love with him, or why they choose him as their bias, besides the talent, obviously. Mm. Okay, from the tarot, he got the cards of Four of Wands, the Justice, and Seven of Pentacles. And then he got the card of Divine Love. Exo Baekhyun, actually. But I think that honestly his aura and you know what makes him so attractive, first of all with the Four of Wands, I think that Baekhyun is one of these people that is like he promises you that he's going to make you have a good time. You know, literally here in the romantic tarot with the Four of Wands, we have like a literal wedding in here. So there's something about Baekhyun somehow being committed, like for him, you know, being in the business, or for him being with the fans or the people that love him. He is someone that is very committed. Is very committed to his role. Is very committed to um, like everything he turns into a celebration. You know, I think that he's serious about the commitment that he has to the people that are always watching him, and the people that are always like supporting him. You know, he seems like he's like married to these people, and he makes them have a good time. You know, he's definitely like a great, like I don't know, is it like he's like a great MC, or he's like, you know, like a great like host. There's something about him welcoming you into, you know, the experience um of you know, maybe it's about people entering into his show, literally, and he's like, you know, the master of ceremonies, and he's like, you know, now that you are here with me, you and I, we are tied. We are like, you stay with me. I'm going to make you have a good time. And it's like he has like a promise. I don't know. He somehow maybe he has this promise with the fans or with the people that follow like him. He's very committed to this role, and he wants to make it fun also. He's someone that he wants, you know, his interactions with the audience, with the people that love him, he wants things to be, you know, dynamic. It's all about him giving you a good time and you having fun, either by listening to his music or attending an event of his. He wants you to have a good time. He wants you to feel safe. He wants you to feel like you can count on him, for him to give you this great experience, I would say. We have also, we have the Justice. So definitely there's something about what there's something about his aura, and I think that is very, it's very meaningful that now, you know, that everything that is going on with EXO CVX, all this mess, you know, with the lawsuits and all of those things, with the kind of the Justice, I think that there's something about, you know, Baekhyun's aura, or Baekhyun's you know, attribute, attractiveness, is that he is always looking for justice. He's always looking for justice. He's not going to sit down and just, you know, allow people to take advantage of him. At least he's going to put up the fight, you know. But I think that he's not someone that he's like, I can have my, he has a very strong view of what is right and what is wrong. And probably this gets him into trouble, because it seems like, like when you are someone that you are always like thinking from a place of, you want things to be fair, you want things to be, well done. There's certain situations and certain places where the justice is being like somehow corrupted by others, especially if we're talking about entertainment. But he's very loyal to his principles. He's like, this is me, I'm a very just person. Like if I see something that I believe that doesn't work, I'm going to call it out. And that he doesn't do it with an energy of, oh, I'm going to be upset now and I'm going to get competitive and I'm going to make everyone have a bad time. No, he does it with grace. He does it with grace. He's able to separate things, that, sometimes there's certain people that don't know how to separate. When they are upset about something, you can tell that they are not happy. But for him, it's like, the show must go on, and I'm proud of myself. I'm confident in myself that for my fans and the people that love me, I do give them a great experience. I have been working for them, and I have been consistent. The Seven of Pentacles, for him, I think that also I think that there's something about Baekhyun, because we have the Justice and we have the Seven of Pentacles, and maybe he had been, or he's going to be very honest, with the audience about how sometimes he feels like he can never make it. Like when he wants justice to happen for himself or others, he always feels like he's running out of time, or he's running out of patience, or he's running out of opportunities. The seven of Pentacles is literally like, it's not, sometimes justice is not ready for you. It's not going to be for you. And probably this is something that maybe people are like, I kinda admire him that he is he went for justice. Problem is that maybe, he can make you look like, maybe those people are like, I kind of admire how patient he is with all this process, because probably the process is not going very well. But maybe people that know Baekhyun, they are like, I know he's going to be patient, or I know that he's going to wait for his moment or for his time to get this justice that, that is very present in here. But I think that he doesn't forget, why he does this. And this is part of his aura, that he's very hardworking. It's just that, the justice is a very complex system. It's not just ruled by, oh, well, what is wrong and what is right and black and white. No, there's certain interest in the middle. So, but I think that people also somehow, the people that feel attracted to his aura or his, his personality, is that they are like, Baekhyun with all his influence, he wouldn't need to do this actually, but he does it because he's looking for justice. In spite of maybe the outcome not being that, it seems like the cards are like, he will always have to wait, or he will always have to be patient about justice when it comes to him, because sometimes maybe, he's not going to get it. He's not going to get the fair treatment that maybe he believes that he deserves. But yeah, we have the card of divine love. So I think that he is a very loving, he's a very loving idol, a very loving man. He believes in divine love. He believes that, when something is meant for you or is meant to happen to you, You know, somehow the universe accommodates everything, and he is someone that is very capable of loving, in spite of, you know, being surrounded by, you know, certain people and environments that somehow they want to drain, you know, Baekhyun's ability to love and be loved. They want to turn him into this moody celebrity kind of life, you know, but he's actually very loving. He's very loving. He's very, he's so charming in that sense. He's very Venusian. Um, and he just enchants the people. The people that love Baekhyun, you know, they are like, you know, he is this divine love. You know, he is like the representation of love. You know, even though there's moments in his life or in his career where he has to get tougher, you know, with the car of justice is giving, like, there's moments that he has to get serious, or he has to get cold, or he has to get, you know, very practical, because things maybe, you know, when it comes to finances, they don't go very well. But at the end, inside, he is not. He is been opposing people. No, it's just that he has a strong sense of justice, and this is why it's getting in the way of him maybe, you know, actually being seen like sweeter, you know, or more, you know, more gentle, I would say. Mm-hmm. Yes, I love him. He seems very funny, yes. Okay, I'm going to continue with Jackson Wang. Let's see Jackson. His aura, why everyone falls in love with him. Could it be people are a bit masochistic with him? Because I do have the kind of boundaries. So I'm like, wow, you know, he's a complex individual. We start with the devil. Very strong. Very strong. The devil. We have the temperance. And we have the Queen of Wands. Hi, I want to show you the face of the Queen of Wands. Looking a bit annoyed. A Queen of Wands. And we have the card of boundaries. Boundaries. Yeah. I think that Jackson's aura is very, yeah, I don't know, maybe someone that met him in person, maybe if someone went through this experience, they can tell me, because I feel like he can have this hold on you. You know, the devil literally is attachment. Like people feel like his energy, you know, or maybe his charisma, or there's something about you not being able to let go of him. He's like a drug, you know. He's someone that you are like, you know, I cannot wait to see more of him. He is addictive. He's very playful also, you know. With the temperance, is like, you know, usually in the temperance card we have, you know, the angel. We have this sort of angel, and we also have the devil in here. So we have the face of the The devil, we have like the dark side, and the, you know, and the angel, that is like the positive, the bright side, you know, the good guy and the bad guy. You know, he has this duality, very dual, very dual. So yeah, he could probably, you know, yes, do very well these concepts of dark and light, because he's changing all the time. He's changing all the time, and he is, you know, these are major arcana, so definitely like their meaning is deeper. Is much more than his appearance. He has a sort of like energy that, you know, when he has to use it to pull you in, he does it. The thing is that he doesn't have to go to the extremes, because then, you know, he probably is someone that because I have the Queen of Wands, so he could be a bit like challenging, you know. Let's not forget he's an Aries man, so there's something about him, probably he gets bored easily. Like, you know, he has the devil card, and he's like, oh well, you know, I can be sexy, I can be seductive to you, and I can, you know, sort of entertain this sort of dynamic with you, and we can have a lot of fun. But then, you know, with the temperance is like, you know, I need to recuperate from this very dark energy of possession and jealousy. So now I'm a good guy. Now, you know, I don't talk about darkness. Now I talk about beautiful things and life, and healing, and, you know, and positivity. So I don't know how to say it um, in English, but there's something just very stubborn about his energy. You know, the Queen of Wands is giving me that he loves the attention, definitely. You know, it's very straightforward. He loves the attention. He loves all the eyes on him, and he knows how to get it. How to get it. It's just that he can get moody from time to time. You know, about the same attention that he gets. There's moments where he's going to complain about, like, why are you guys so obsessed with me, or why are you guys so insistent that you want me to do this concept? I'm no longer that person. I'm changing. You know, I want you guys to leave me alone, or something like this. You know, like, I want you guys to forget about this side of me. This was in the past. So yeah, I know that you probably want me to bring this concept back, but no, because I got bored. You know, he gets bored. He gets bored easily of the certain roles that he plays. You know, like the devil and the temperance is like he goes through, you know, changes. He goes through changes where today I am, you know, the dark and seductive guy, and tomorrow I'm going to be your savior, and I'm going to be humanitarian, and I'm going to talk about humanitarian things, and I'm going to talk about the soul. So I think that he's very spontaneous. I think that this is why, you know, there's something about this spontaneity. People just love him for this. You know, it's very seductive how you know, authentic he is in his, maybe he's searching for more sides of himself, but he's also looking to put boundaries, literally. With the card of boundaries, you know, he probably is someone that he, you know, this part of him, I don't know why I want to say like he could get a bit whiny, you know, he could get, because the Queen of Wands, I don't know if you notice the body language of this woman. You know, this woman is bored. This woman had thrown, you know, her cane in here, you know, she's like looking on the side, she's like, oh. You know, she's upset. She's like, this is not what I want. This response, or this response that I got from these concepts, I didn't like. I want something different, but I don't know what I want. But you guys keep, you know, because we have the devil, so maybe people keep coming back for more of Jackson. You know, like it's sort of like I said, you know, he's very addictive, I would say. But you know, with the card of boundaries, definitely, I think that the card is like, you know, he has to draw boundaries, and maybe this is why he gets so on the fence, you know, or he gets moody, or it seems like he's upset sometimes, like he's upset about you know, his own popularity. I would say, I don't know if it makes sense, but I think that you know, he's someone that he's like, yeah, you know, I done well, I'm doing well, my fans love me, but at the same time I'm not satisfied. This is not what I want. I want something different. I don't know what is it, but I know I can make it. I know I can make it. It's just that, you know, I don't want to get bored. There's something about him getting bored easily. And when people don't let go of their perceptions of, or their preferences of Jackson, you know, people be like, no, I prefer Jackson when he used to do this, or I prefer Jackson music, this one. And he's like, I don't like it when people do that, because he feels restricted, you know, and I think that this is also a calling for boundaries. You know, maybe he also, I think that there's something just very interesting with the kind of boundaries, because probably he opens a door to hear the feedbacks, you know, or he opens the conversation with the fans or with the audience, the people that love him, and he's like, yeah, guys, I'm ready. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you think about my work. Tell me, like, what do you want to see me do next? Like, and him somehow, you know, opening and making it available for people to, you know, ask what they want, or, you know, say what they think of his concepts. And then, you know, things start to get like, to people get very comfortable with saying, you know, like, well, you know, this one, in this one, you know, it didn't sound like you, or you didn't deliver in that one, I prefer the other one. But you know, for him, he's very susceptible to, you know, like, what did you say, like, did you say that you didn't like my last album? And then, you know, and then the Queen of Wands, you know, starts making a scene, because it's like, I thought that you said that you love me. And you know, and it seems like it get a bit like, you know, don't, for me it's like, I would be like, don't ask questions that you are not ready to hear, you know, the answer to. Because I think that there's something about him probably wanting to navigate different sides of himself, but he doesn't know what. So, because he's so spontaneous, and he's like, you know, I can do this. I can talk to the fans. You know, I can talk to the fans. I can do this. It's part of his charm as well, you know, him being available. But then he hears something that he doesn't like, or he's like, I don't think that is like that. But, well, and then boundaries. Then boundaries. So I think that, you know, this is more like a message for him. It's like, you would, you know, avoid a bit of confusion or drama or insatisfaction if you wouldn't be so, you know, open. Because even you have people that have good criticism, that have, you know, a really a good view, that they could help you a lot. But then you have people that maybe they are stuck in their ways, they are obsessed with you, or they're obsessed with an image that you used to portray, and they don't want to let go of that. They want you to keep showing that side of yourself. They don't want something else. They don't want another flavor. They don't want you to evolve. They don't want you to try, you know, something different. And he's someone that he's like, he always wants to change, because he gets bored. He notices when something is repeating, and he gets annoyed. You know, when he starts noticing, maybe, oh, you know, this that I did sounds similar to this. This is why when someone somehow says like, oh, I didn't like this, you know, it triggers something in him, because he's like, I know. Maybe he didn't like it either, but there's something about him hearing it from the fans and being like, are you really my fan? Are you really my fan, or are you a hater? You know, so boundaries is a must for. Maybe at some point he did put boundaries, but I think that the boundaries are very, in here I see them like they're changing all the time. They're changing all the time. Maybe there's moments where he's like, yeah, I do have boundaries, but you see him, and you're like, you see him in certain conversations, and you're like, are you sure you are? Because it seems like he opens a door, between him and the audience loved this, of course, because it's so unexpected. And he does this because he's always looking for inspiration, he's always looking for new experiences, because he's someone that he's very active, he doesn't want to get bored. But maybe, you know, he has to remind himself that, you know, there's the devil, you know, there's people that are very possessive of him, are very possessive of what they think that he is. He's very attractive. He's like, he attracts also the obsessive people. Yes, there's this duality, exactly, yes. Sometimes so loving and protective, but then so aloof. You're like, I don't know, like, you know, like, you don't know, like, you don't know. It depends on the day, on whoever asks him something. And this necessarily doesn't have to be only fans. It could be like also like, you know, someone that is like part of the industry, you know, like someone that asks questions, or like an interviewer, or an MC, another actor, I don't know. But I see that with him you have to be careful how you phrase the things, because he could be a bit bored also of his career. This is why, you know, it seems like he gets sensitive about certain responses, because he's like, I know, what do you want me to do? I'm trying to stay creative, I'm trying. It's tough, yeah. And also setting the boundaries, of course, it's tough, you know. You don't know, you know, what measure is the right measure, what kind of dynamic is the healthy one for you and your fans or your audience. So it's tough, at least for him it's tough. Okay, let's move on to BTS Jin. Let's see his aura explained, why everyone falls in love with him. Let's see Jin. Oh, it's so nice. For Jin, we have the hangman. We have again the 4 ones that this card came up for Baekhyun as well. And we have the Knight of Cups. And then we have the card of heart healing. Healing of the heart. So nice for Jin. So nice. He's also very funny. You know, the 4 of Wands again, you know, it's giving me like he's really, you know, worth this party. But it's also, you know, when we start with the hangman, for me, I think that there's something about maybe people that they love Jin, or people that have been following Jin's, you know, evolution as an artist, or as a person even. You know, I think that they notice that Jin has this ability. First of all, he has fun in everything that he has to do, even if it's uncomfortable at the beginning. You know, with the hangman, literally, I think that he, many times, maybe he was put in uncomfortable situations, you know, like maybe, you know, him have to do activities on his own, or having to meet people that are completely strangers for the first time, you know, and him just, you know, feeling, it's not about being uncomfortable, but the hangman is like when you are presented with a situation that you cannot get out of, because maybe, yeah, it's part of the dynamic of today. People let him know, okay, Jin, it's your turn, this is what you're doing, or this is where you're going, and him just not having, you know, like, I think that there's something about Jin. It's not about him not having the opportunity to say no. I think that he's just someone that he refuses to. He doesn't avoid uncomfortableness. You know, maybe there's something about him being like, you know, very hopeful in that sense, being like, you know, if this is a new opportunity no one has done before, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go, and probably it's going to be uncomfortable for me at first, maybe if it's like a challenge or if it's like an atmosphere that I'm not familiar with, but I'm just going to stay there and just absorb and get to know people or get to know the environment or get to know the task or the activity that I have to do. I think that there's something about him just being put sometimes in situations where he's like, I have no idea what I'm doing here. I'm going to make the most of this. And I think that this is why, you know, he has this magnetism and this aura that everyone likes, because we have the Four of Wands. So he turns everything into a celebration. You know, he has fun, he is very humorous, you know, he brings his sense of humor, he brings his goofy self, you know, he's always like smiling or just, you know, paying attention to what others are doing, and he just, you know, slowly accommodates to the situation, but his outcome also is to give the audience a good time. I think that he also has like a strong commitment to like, let's turn this into a party, let's do this, like is uncomfortable for me, I have no idea what I'm doing here, I have no idea why I'm here, but I'm going to make the most of this. The most of this is going to get, you know, is going to turn into something fun and memorable for whoever is watching me. I think that he's also very considerate, he's very much aware, he's very empathic about, you know, the love that people have for him. And I think that this is why he's like, I don't care about, you know, what I have to do. As long as the audience is satisfied and the audience had a good time, I'm up for this. Because yeah, we have the Knight of Cups, so he's definitely a very loving, a very tender kind of artist. You know, there's something about him also not being forceful, you know, not pushing himself into situations that he's like, I have no idea what I'm doing here. He's very empathic, or he's a great observant, or he's great at being delicate, you know, and also if he notices that the other side is also awkward, or the other person that he has to interact with, if they are also shy, or if they don't talk that much, he's like, with the Knight of Cups, he's like, okay, I will go over there, I will say hi first, I will initiate the conversation, I will bring a joke, I will do something. But I do it because I want to collaborate and I want you to have a good time watching me. So he's a very loving person. He's a very loving person. He's also very honest, very transparent about also how he feels. I think that what he says, that if you ask him like, okay, how are you feeling about this? He's very honest about his vulnerability, I would say, but he's also very charming. You know, I think that Jin probably is great for shows, you know, variety shows, or, you know, these shows where maybe, yeah, he has to interact with people that he never seen before. It's like he's the type of guy that he will adapt, and he will go in there, you know, with a happy smile on his face. You know, he is like very optimistic in this sense. And I think that there's something about him being like, you know, I became an entertainer for this. I became an entertainer because I want to bring good vibes. I want to entertain people. I want people to love me also. You know, and he doesn't do it for the attention, because I don't have cards here that is like, oh, because I want all the eyes of me. No, the Knight of Cups is more because he knows he can do it. You know, he knows maybe he's really good at building connections with people. So he's like, as long as I make them laugh, you know, and I make them have fun, my job is done. I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied. But he's so sweet. He's so sweet. And yeah, hurt healing again. You know, he wants to bring healing to people's hearts. And I think that he does. I think that he does. And he's like, I don't care if it's going to be awkward and people are going to laugh at me. I don't care if I have to, you know, be goofy or, you know, choose extra. I don't care. But if you laugh, if I make you laugh, then, you know, if your heart chakra has expanded because of a comment of mine, because of a content, a video of mine, then I done a great job. But he's so full of light. He's so fun also. He's so fun. He's such a fun guy. The Knight of Cups is Jin with his tuna horse. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. He's the icebreaker of the group in new situations. Yes, definitely. Yeah. For him is serious, you know. He's like, someone has to do it, I will do it. He feels good also about himself when he does this. He feels good. Okay, I'm going to move on to P1HARMONY Jiung. P1HARMONY Jiung. P1HARMONY, they were in my country, I believe a couple of weeks ago. Oh, the fans they were singing along with them. The fans were so happy to see. I didn't know. I would have bought my tickets. I didn't know they were coming here. I'm so out of like contact, you know, with K-pop events here. I didn't know. Okay, for June, his aura explained. Let's see. What makes everyone fall in love with him? Wow. Is he a Leo? Or does he have Leo placements? He got three major arcanas. He got the Strength card, the Emperor, and the Moon card. Well, the Moon card, it could be a bit of insecurity. But we have, from the Oracle, we have the card of Truth. Truth. So he's like the singer of truth. He's like, yeah, this is me. This is me. He's very strong. He's a very strong guy. Very possessive also. But he's a very strong, he has like a strong will. There's something about him being like, I'm going to make it. But then there's a part of him where he doubts himself. You know, with the Moon card, I think that maybe he tries for the fans to see him as, you know, this sort of invincible person, you know, like, oh, no one can beat me, you know, like, is he the center of something? Because, you know, the Emperor is giving me like a strong energy, like a strong presence. But the Strength card also is about, you know, like him controlling himself. Him controlling maybe he's very prideful. Maybe there's something about him being very prideful, you know, and him, you know, somehow being possessive or having this strong temper of like, you know, what is mine. Or maybe he's very possessive of his fans. You know, maybe there's something about him being like, you know, I am their bias. Or, you know, these are my fans, you know, they're waiting to see me and all the eyes are on me, you know. But it's cute. But I think that he has a strong temper, because with the Strength card and the Emperor, it could be a mix of passive aggressiveness as well, because we have the it's like giving me this, like, yeah, I said it, but it came out like kind of confusing. Like, yeah, I told you how I felt, or I told you what I wanted for myself, but it wasn't clear enough. Or maybe I didn't say it, clear enough for you to understand. But he's very possessive, very possessive. He wants to be validated, he wants to be the ruler, I think that there's something about him, he could be very masculine as well, like there's something about him, maybe his aura, maybe he's athletic or something like this, that he takes up space physically, but I think that he's very possessive, and also with the oracle of truth, I think that he is literally like he tells you like it is, he probably is one of these members that he's very true to himself or to the fans, and this is part of his appeal, this is part of his aura, that I think that he has like a strong charisma, he's very magnetic, he's very could it be that he's a bit bossy, but with the moon card is like, I cannot say it to your face, but I kind of want to do things my way. It's like I cannot, maybe he's in a group where there's others that they have strong egos themselves, or the leaders are very strong in personality, so he somehow is like holding back from saying certain truths, but he has the card of truth. So somehow when he says something, or when he expresses himself and his truth, people are listening. People are like, okay, what is Jung saying? What is he talking about? Let's hear him out. And I think that probably this is part of his charisma. It's just that it seems like he represents a part of himself. I don't know why. He's a little delusional. But he wants to rule them all, or at least maybe this is what he wants to achieve with the fans. Maybe there's something about him being possessive, about it seems like he's a very passionate member, very passionate. It's just that starting with the strengths card, if you notice, this is like an image, but if you notice the card here, that it represents, that usually in the Empress card, not the Empress, sorry, the Strengths card. In the Strengths card, you have the lady, the damsel, like somehow, holding the lion and grabbing the lion so gently, so the lion. We have the statue, and then we have, a man that is somehow like, trying to hold the lady and the lion, the statue. So there's something about him holding himself back from being this. He has a lot of potential of being actually, being very important in the group in the future. He has the charisma. It's just that he can be a bit bossy, he can, I don't want to say like he can explode, because no, the emperor actually is not aggressive. It's just that they are territorial. It's like, this is my place. These are my fans. This is my moment. Like something like this. But with the moon card, we also have the moon card. So there's this, like, what did you say? I didn't understand. What? Maybe this is something that the others tell him. Every time he wants to go off, I think that he wants to say a few truths, but maybe, you know, the people or the other members, they are like, no, like you wait. Or either he's very young, or they are like, no, you shouldn't be like this, like, you know, don't be so prideful, like, hold on. He's a diva. He is a diva. He has certain, you know, he has a certain attitude, you know, with the emperor. Is like he wants to conquer. He's very ambitious, very ambitious. He's probably is like, you know, I'm going to get more fans than you. He probably have this, you know, this sort of like competition with himself. Like, I'm going to get more lines than you, or I'm going to get my moment, and I'm going to attract, you know. So I love him. I like him, but it's kind of like he represses that part of himself. But the emperor is like, he wants to dominate the scene, or he wants the spotlight for himself. He wants this. He wants this. Definitely. But yeah, with the moon card, I think that probably the people that love him, or that they love his energy, they also are a bit confused by him. He's still in the process of, you know, sort of like convincing people. I think that he can, because we have the card of truth. So I think that, you know, even if he, maybe whatever he says, maybe sometimes it doesn't come out the right way, there's truth in what he says. So probably at the end, his aura, or his ability to attract and to be loved and to be more loved by others, is that he speaks the truth. And that maybe, you know, he shouldn't restrict himself from speaking the truth. Or maybe others shouldn't, you know, restrict him from saying the truth. Because actually he brings it. He brings the truth. So we should all listen more. We should all listen to him a bit more. But yeah, he is dominant. He wants to be like the ruler of people's hearts. He wants to get more fans, probably. He's like, I can kinda do better. I want to do better. I want the attention. I think I deserve it. You know, the emperor is like, I know I'm amazing. He's very consistent. He's very hardworking. You know, this is not, I think that he's not being delusional about, you know, what he wants. It's just that with the moon card and the strength card, it seems like his potential to become a confident king is somehow, you know, it's a bit like oppressed by others, or other people's energy, or maybe there's other people that are more influential than him, or they are more popular, so he has to fight. And maybe his way to get more attention is to be more truthful, to spill the tea. Just tell the fans things and they will follow you. If you tell them the tea, if you spill a bit of tea or information, the fans yeah, with the truth, I think that he, you know, him being blunt and just open, I think that he will get his moment to shine. Okay, I'm going to go on to the other P1 Harmony member, Jongseob. 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 Jongseob of P1 Harmony. Jongseob. Let's see his aura explained. I should do, right, a personality video for the P1 Harmony members if I haven't already, right, for the channel. Maybe I can attract more fans of P1 Harmony, right? It will be interesting for them to, you know, for me to do this for them. I know I've been reading for some of them, but, you know, for the group, I would love this because I also like P1 Harmony. I like them. I like their music. And I like them, but I want to get to know them better also. Okay. For this member, for Jongseob of P1 Harmony, we start with the lovers, romantic, Three of Pentacles, very hardworking, and Queen of Pentacles. Rich, 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 rich. And we have the card of big picture. Big picture. Does he have like what earth placements? Or is he an earth sign? Because he has pentacles. But it's very interesting how he got the oracle card of big picture. Because I think that he is more of a team worker, I would say. He doesn't want all the attention on himself. Literally with the card of big picture, he's like, I'm part of something bigger. So yes, pay attention to me, love me, but also love the group. Because he's like, I'm doing all of this, or I'm doing my part, and I'm trying to be as professional as I can, but please don't concentrate only on me. Just observe everything that we have been doing. So, very professional, very mature. I don't know how old he is, but it sounds like he knows about the business, and he's very practical. But also the Three of Pentacles is giving is that he's very professional, but he's also like more focused on teamwork or dynamic. He doesn't consider himself alone. He's not like, I want you to look at me and please choose me, and I can be your fantasy. He's not. I mean, even though with the lovers, I'm sure he's very popular. With the lovers. I mean, he makes people feel things. So maybe, there's something just very, like I mentioned, maybe he has this aura that invites people to fantasize with him, or he has the image, or he has the aura of the lover. But he has the Three of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. So for him, it's like, I have all of this, but, if all this charisma and everything that I have is because I've been working with this. I've been working with the members on this. So it seems like if you ask him, he's very straightforward about, if you're like trying to compliment him, and if you're like, because I think that you are so cute, or you are so sexy, and he's like, oh yes, thank you. I spent hours, working in front of the mirror to be able to do that dance move, or to do that face, or to do this, so you can find attractive and follow us. And yes, please keep supporting us. And please, yes, keep buying our albums, I think that he also measures, because the Queen of Pentacles is very much about numbers. So there's something about him being like, yeah, I just, keep buying our albums, or just keep helping us with the sales, like him being like this sort of little accountant, I would say. He measures, he's very practical. He's not the Lulu at all. He's like, I want us to do good. I want the group to do well. So if you feel seduced by me, if you like me, and if you like what I do as an artist, please support me. Please support the group, not just me. Support the group. Like, come on in, and I know you came for me, but look, in here there's the other members. So he's like a great promoter of the other members. He doesn't want the spotlight for himself. And it's not because he's shy. Because the Queen of Pentacles actually is very stable, and is very adored, and is very, they have everything that they need and more. So he's definitely, he's doing very well. He has everything, very well established in his career. It's just that there's something about him being like, I am this stable, or I am this successful because of my group. So he always goes back to the group, and he's super thankful to the group. And I think that he's like, okay, if you compliment me, you are complimenting the group, because without them, I'm nothing. So yeah, he's not that sentimental, I would say. He's good at seducing, it depends with the concept that they have, but he's also like very much focused on teamwork. And he's like, yeah, we have been working and trying to improve in teamwork. So yeah, always with him, please always look at the big picture, not just me, just look at us all, because this that you see in me is bigger. That is a lot of work. We work a lot to have these moments with you. So and I think that this is also what makes him so lovable and so of value, so valuable, because he's very honest. Like, this is not him being like, I was born pretty and I always get the attention and I always get what I want. No, he's like, I have this because we have been working very hard. So, even though it's not like the romantic, sort of talk that you would want him to have with you, you would be like, oh, please convince me, seduce me a bit more. And he's like, well, I'm going to tell you about the others and what we have been doing and what we have been creating together. But yeah, probably it has to do that maybe, initially he had certain doubts, about entering the group or about his role in the group, and maybe he relied a lot on the group, and the members helped him out a lot. So this is why he always, every time someone wants to praise him, he's like always reminding everyone that I didn't do this alone. Everything that you see in me, I created this with the members. This is everyone's work. So please look at the big picture instead of just looking at me. So it's so cute. He's so cute. He's so loyal also. So loyal. So loyal. I like him. I like his energy. So sweet. Okay. I'm going to continue with TXT Yeonjun. TXT Yeonjun. Let's see his aura, explain, and why everyone falls in love with him. He's very loved, definitely, TXT Yeonjun. He's a Scorpio major bias. You have a point. Yes, I need new ones. Okay, a lot of twos for TXT Yeonjun. We start with the High Priestess. We have the Five of Cups. People fighting for him. And the Two of Pentacles. This is so cute, the Two of Pentacles. And we have the card of Strength from the Oracle. So yeah, I think that about his charisma and why people love him so much is because he is very strong. He has a very strong will. This is an artist, an idol, that in spite of, maybe people see him and they are like, oh yeah, because he's popular, oh yes, he's always amazing, we know, I heard that he's amazing, or I heard that he done great, but you people have no idea of how much he had to work to become this strong, or to be able to be who he is now. It takes a lot of willpower, it takes a lot of strength. Definitely he's someone that he doesn't give up. He's always like, I think that his magnetism or his aura is all about, it's not just about looks, it's also about not giving up, even if people think that, oh, he's been ambitious, or oh, he's no, because things hasn't been easy for him. And maybe there were a lot of people that before him, or people that he knew or that he worked with, they used to give up, or they used to lose strength and choose, not continue. And he probably lost friends like this. So this is with the oracle of strength. I think that it's very fitting for, Jeonjun's energy, that he's a very strong guy because his circumstances made him stronger. He had no other choice but to become stronger. We have, also we start with the high priestess, that the high priestess is all about those things about him, not, I don't want to say secrets, but there's like a history, there's a background, there's things about Jeonjun that people don't know. And probably is that because he keeps everything very optimistic, or he keeps everything very like fun, or he shows himself as a very funny or optimistic person, but he actually, went through a lot. With the high priestess, is like he learned a lot, but he also probably went through certain circumstances where, yeah, he had to maybe be, more secretive, or just, not say much about his projects, or just, being told, don't talk to this person, don't, because maybe, in the past he used to be very, like, very open to share, and with the high priestess, I think that he learned that maybe in this industry, or specifically to him, that he has to remain silent, and maybe also the high priestess is about him remaining silent about things that have to do with him. I don't know, maybe rumors about him, or people talking about him, or people being awful to him, him learning to, incorporate this high priestess of like, okay, I will not respond, okay, I could defend myself, I will not do it, I will remain silent. And also probably he doesn't have other way out, because I don't think that there's a possibility at this point in his career of him being like, I'm going to say something about this. No, he cannot. But the Five of Cups, we have, it's very funny because we have these two women fighting for the man, or these two women like fighting for the guy, So I think that there's something about, maybe it's not, I don't want to say rumors, but could it be potential scandals, or just people fighting online about Jeonjun, fighting about, okay, is he this or is he not? Is he your favorite or is he not? Is he the best or is he not? I see a lot of people fighting for him. A lot of people like creating drama. This is why I see his energy somehow separating himself, becoming this sort of high priestess, this very hermetic kind of figure of like, I'm just going to be looking at my book right now, I'm going to be reading at my book, I'm going to be minding my own business, not here, I'm going to look at here and just remain silent because, this is bigger than me, I cannot do anything. So I think that probably there's a level people admire this of Jeonjun. Besides him being talented and everything, I think that people had noticed how he was able to, not react when everyone were fighting, or where his name was mentioned, or where people were arguing about him or calling him names, or you know how people get when it's like, okay, yeah, he's talented, or he's this, like the company's favorite, or he's this, and he knows everything. It's just that he has this sort of aura now of the high priestess, of like, I will not get involved, I will not say anything, I would just let people, say whatever they want to say, or, if you want to fight each other, just fight. I know you're fighting for me, but what can I do? You guys already have this view of what you think I am, so you go ahead and have your own discussions. I will not participate. And the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles is that at the end, he always starts over. The Two of Pentacles is like, I'm always starting over in my career. I'm always putting the effort to do better next time. So the Two of Pentacles is also very initial stages, but definitely it shows you that maybe he considers himself a very young, or very young in this industry. So he's very humble in that sense. He's like, okay, I will adapt. I will be flexible. I will try again. Okay, you guys want this of me, or you want me to be better at this? I will do this. I will do this for you. I will adapt. I will adapt. But it's amazing how, there's drama around him. There's people fighting for him, and he's not immersed in something in person. It seems like he is like this entity, or maybe it's his name, his face, that people talk constantly about him, and they fight each other. They fight. He definitely feels very disappointed, because he's like, why are people like this? Why are people like this? But at the same time, with the High Priestess, he cannot do anything, because this is like a bigger subject. So the last thing that he can do is just remain, very private, and just show with results, or show you with productivity, that he is going to keep working. The Two of Pentacles is like, I will come back, I will do this again, or I will bring something new, I will adapt. But he will never stop, because he's a very strong guy. This is why we have the strength card. He has so much potential. And he can do so much with the little that he's been given, honestly. And I think that this is part of his charisma. This is part of his aura, is that he knows people are fighting for him, and he's like, okay, I'm strong, I can take it, I will start over, but I will not stop working. I will start over, or I will create something new, but you will see me again. You are not going to stop me. It doesn't matter how hard people want to stop him, or want to, drag his name, because a lot of people talk about him. I don't know. And even it could be people that call themselves fans, but he's a very strong guy. He's a very strong guy. Okay, let's continue with NCT Mark. Let's see Mark. Let's see his aura. Why everyone falls in love with him. Nurture. Such a positive card. My God. He is popular, I would say. We start with the Ace of Pentacles for Mark. Ace of Pentacles, Six of Wands, and the Magician. And we have the card of Nurture. Nurture. He's very popular. Very popular. In here, there's no duality. Just success. Success. Starting with the Ace of Pentacles, success. The Six of Wands also is like him, you know, literally in here we have a couple that they're going, you know, on an adventure, on a boat. And they're going on a trip. You know. But he is an entertainer with the Magician. He from his hat, he takes opportunities from his hat, you know. He takes, every time you think like, no, Mark has no tricks because he has done them all, he will pull another tricks out of his ability to entertain. And also the kind of Nurture. This is a woman with the flute, playing the flute. Nurture. Another one, Nurture. I think that here it talks about resources and also talent, because with the kind of Nurture, you know, this is why we have a woman, you know, practicing playing the flute, and I think that it definitely shows you how, you know, the more you practice or the more you expose yourself, the more you nurture yourself, or, you know, embark in these new experiences, you become better at them. And you develop another different kind of talent, another different kind of opportunities. I think that there's a lot of opportunities coming for Mark. And this is just something that there's like a nurturing in what he does. You know, when sometimes, because we know that him and Haechan, you know, they work in different units in NCT. But there's something about Mark being able to do this with a lot of discipline, or him being able to master this with grace, that even if people are like, oh, he's super busy, he's super tired, poor guy, poor him, poor Haechan, in the case of Mark, this all is somehow nurturing his ability to become a better person on stage, like a better entertainer, because this is what he wants to do. He wants to be an entertainer. He wants to be on the stage. In here, there's not like cards that they're like, oh, poor Mark. You know, sometimes I am a citizen, so sometimes I do worry about them. But when it comes, at least from what I read in the tarot, he is very happy doing what he does. And at the same time, there's a level and there's a potential of him actually becoming better and better and better at this. You know, I don't know if it's individual work, probably it is individual work, because the Magician, I see him only, like him being like a one-man show and him doing really good. Or him like growing and you know, just being outstanding, I would say, nurturing a lot his own talents and just going farther and farther in his career. But I think that his aura and his charisma and what makes him so, why he's so loved, why many people choose him or praise Haechan. Sorry, not Haechan. It could be for Haechan as well, but Mark, and now I'm reading for Mark. is because he was born to be on the stage, and he will continue doing this, and he will get better and better and better at this. And there's success. It's just success. Everything is success in here. Everything is success. But there's also a lot of nurturing, a lot of like growing in him. He's learning so much. He's integrating so much knowledge. Maybe he's learning to play new instruments. Maybe he's learning to a new technique. But there's whatever he's doing or practicing or creating is going to get better with time. So he will be on the stage for a very long time. He will be for a while. Because for me, it's like the journey is just beginning for Mark. And I think that he's going to do great. And yeah, this is part of his charisma. It doesn't show me him as a person, but it shows me him as an entertainer. That's his aura, that's a part of him that he's always working on. I want to be better at this. I want to get better at this. I want to grow in this. And so he's always investing in that artistic side, I would say. SM has just announced a new NCT U unit, so Mark is given yes, probably. We're going to have Mark leave for a while, but he's getting comfortable with this. I like it. I like it for him. Okay, I'm going to read for the actor Yoo Yeon Seok, his aura explained. I loved the actor Yoo Yeon Seok. He's my favorite also. He shines so much. He must have like a Leo placement somewhere, because he got from the oracle he got the card of divine light, divine light, divine light. Okay, for the actor Yoo Yeon Seok, we start with the 6 of Cups, 8 of Pentacles, and we have the 10 of Wands. He's so hardworking and divine light. He's so hardworking. Always been. I think that his aura, his charisma, why people love him or why people fall in love with him. First, because he brings such a good memories to people. People feel nostalgic when they see him. I don't know if it's because, maybe his past roles were very memorable and they stick in people's minds. People get emotional about him. So maybe there's a certain role or there's something that he did in the past that people are like, oh, remember when he played that role? Like, I know I have mine, but I'm sure that people have their different favorite roles of his, of this actor. There's like an emotional nostalgia. There's something just very, you have these memories of him in these roles, feel so emotional inside, and probably there's about, if you like something of his, maybe there's like people that watch it over and over. um but yeah, the Eight of Pentacles, it shows how hardworking this man is, how hardworking he is, and probably also with his co-stars, he is a very detailed partner, co-star. He's always helping his teammate, his colleagues, or his other, actors or actresses. He's always like, he doesn't mind to get busier or to do extra things in order to get certain details done, to help. He's very hardworking. He does a lot of things, I must say he's a bit of a workaholic, because we have the Ten of Wands. So I'm like, could it be that he's like considered one of these actors that he's like the busiest, or the guy that probably he has a lot of businesses, or he has a lot of ideas, or a lot of productions? I think that he's a man that he's always doing something. He's always busy. He's always working on something, or if he participates in something, he brings all his energy, he brings all his charisma. He's not someone that he's like, he will just go and just sit in there and just being plain. No, he brings all his energy, his warmth. He really cares for people. He helps people out. He's like, let me help you with this, let me do this with you. If I have to stay longer, I will stay longer. If I have to stay with you here, even though I'm done with my part, I will do this with you. I will rehearse this with you over and over and over. I think that he's just so generous. He's a very generous. I must say that this is part of his work ethic as well. He's someone that he's like, I can do this. I have the energy and I have the desire. He's a very passionate man. And he's someone that he's like, if I have the energy and I have the willpower, I will do this. I will sign up for this. Even if no one asks me, I will be like, I will do this. Because he has a lot of fun. He's a very, fun, just like, he kind of reminds me of, I was reading for NCT Mark. Sometimes we're like, oh, because Mark and Hechan, they do have a lot of activities, in comparison to the other members, and they do work a lot. And I think that for this actor, for Yoo Yeon Seok, there's this kind of similar energy with Mark. Like, he is happy being productive, or he is happy working on the details, or if he has to, stay longer to finish something, he doesn't complain. He's not someone that he's like, oh my god, I have to do this, I don't want to do this, I'm so tired, like, oh, and he gets all moody. And no, he has the energy of a lot of people. I don't know, but it's definitely part of his charisma, but it's also part of who he is. He is this kind of person. I think that this is something that you cannot pretend that you are like this. For him, I feel like he is like this. He's someone that he's used to juggling different projects, or doing different things, or going to visit different people. Like, he moves around a lot. And I think that, yeah, with the Ten of Wands, there's a bit of responsibility, a lot of weight on his shoulders, definitely. And yes, it could be a bit unhealthy, I would say. But the thing here is that he wants to do this. He doesn't want to stay, at his house and being like, okay, I'm a homebody, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to wait for you to call me and I will show up. No, he's so eager to participate, to do more, to get involved. He's someone he's very hot. Like, I don't know why I want to say hot. Like his blood, it feels hot, and it feels like he's always burning. He's always burning to get out and do more. And I want to do this, and he gets like possessed, it seems, when there's like a new project. So for him, it's like, yeah, I will show up, I will do this, I will help you and you and you. And he's so full of energy like this. And this is why we have divine light. He brings this divine light with him. He brings this positivity. he brings the light. He probably, in the industry, maybe there's not people like him, and maybe you actually have more people that are, I would say, even actors that are not like his personality. And this, I must say, I read it every time I read for certain Korean actors. I feel it when I read for them. There's certain people, certain male actors, that they don't want to do extra things. They don't care. They are very centered in what they have to do. And they are like, yeah, this is my part. I came for my part, and this is done, so I'm going. Bye. So I don't see them looking at like, oh, how can I help my co-star? How can I help them? No, they're always about, going for what they have to do, and then they go home. In the case of Yoo Yeon Seok, I feel it differently. I feel it like he probably does a lot. Probably there's like an exaggeration in his energy, and probably he feels very tired, but he cannot help it. He is like this. He is the divine light. He is like this. I think that maybe it's part of his, his character, that he gets so passionate like this. Okay, I'm going to continue with Riize Anton. His aura explained, and why everyone falls in love with him. Anton of Riize. Another one that is a ray of light. He's very positive as well, very bright, literally. For Anton, we have the Sun card, we have the Knight of Wands, we have the Ten of Cups, and we have the card of Joy. Joy. He's very funny. Very funny. He's very outgoing also, like with the Knight of Wands. It's giving me fire sign. It's giving me like he shines a lot. Very optimistic. Knows himself is the way he is. He's very impulsive also. He's a very impulsive person, I would say. He loves to take risk. He's not shy. I wouldn't say he's shy. No, very sexy also. Very sexy man. But the Ten of Cups also, I think that the reason why he has all these positive cards is honestly because maybe he comes from a good household, or he always had his emotional needs met with the Ten of Cups. There's something about him being very loved, or him being very much cherished as a child, so he feels special. This is like a young man that he knows that he's loved. So this is why he shows to the external side of life. He shows you this kind of like he just goes to life with this very funny, not funny, but very authentic attitude. And he shows himself the way he is because he probably is very loved. He's very he's very he's very sure of who he is. He's very sure. He's very sure. He is not confused. With the sun card is giving me that he probably is also very playful himself. He probably loves to go out and do outdoor activities, or he's very energetic himself as well. He loves to go out. He loves to be a man of his age. Very adventurous, also very adventurous character. Like he would probably be, like, oh, I want to try this new sport, or I want to do this new, or I want to learn this new skill, just because. Very spontaneous, very spontaneous. But yeah, with the card of joy, definitely, he's very happy. He's a very happy man. He's a very happy young man. He's very happy. He doesn't know what is sadness. He doesn't know about disappointment. But also, he's very charismatic. And I think that his charisma is how honest he is, or how, what he shows you. I think that he's very spontaneous. When you look at him in the eyes, or you look at his face, or his body language, he will show you, very very honestly and very openly. He will show you with his body or with his expressions how he really feels about certain things. But he's never quiet. Like, there's something about him always trying to do something new, or he wants to go out and meet different people, or he has friends, independent person. You somehow cannot get him inside. I think that this is a man that he's like, if I want to go and see my friends, I will go and see my friends, or I will go and hang out with these people that I just met, or these people that I like. I think that he doesn't apologize. He's very, very spontaneous like this. Whatever he feels that he wants to do is what he's going to do. Can be a bit rebellious, I must say. Can be a bit rebellious, because with the Ten of Cups, having this loving community or these very supportive people, he can be a bit of a rebel. Like, somehow the family is very close to him, his community is very close to him, trying to protect him, I would say, or trying to be, around him to see, what are you going, what are you doing, take it slow. Somehow being nice to him, not bossing him around, but somehow being like, reminding him that he's not alone, that he has to be very, respectful to the family, or to the family's, maybe tradition, so there's something about him. Yeah, you can have your liberty, or you can have your freedom to be a man of your age, but don't forget your family, or don't forget where you come from. So yeah, but he's so happy. And about being an idol, I think that he shines like he's very popular, and he's just popular, or he's loved, or he's wanted, or he's chosen, just being himself. There's not much, like, it's not that he there's a secret, or of why, or a mystery of why he attracts the people, or why he's some people's bias. No, I think that he's very strong in his body also. Probably he's a dancer, or his body type is also very well built. Maybe he's tall, but he looks like someone that could be into sports, or at least very competitive in whatever he does. But yeah, with the card of joy, he enjoys his life. He's very loved. He's a very loved person. He's very lucky also. But yeah, his energy is very authentic. It's like, what you see is what you get of him. He doesn't need to, put on a persona, or learn to be a certain way. What you see of him is like this. Okay, I'm going to continue with Hwasa, and this is going to be the last person for today, and then I'm going to go. Bye, Tertalino. Okay. Hwasa. Wasa is going through something special as well, that it has to do with healing herself. So maybe, there's something about her relationship with herself that somehow inspires people to love her or to choose her. This is why, this is about her aura, or this is why she's so loved, because there's something about her, maybe talking about, her struggles, or talking about how she wants to heal herself, or how she's investing in being better herself, or treating herself better. So people relate a lot in a very intimate, very spiritual even kind of self for her. Yeah, because we start with the Five of Swords for Wasa. Five of Swords, we have the Empress, and we have the Seven of Pentacles again. And yeah, from the Oracle, heal thyself. Heal thyself. Yeah, definitely. I think that it has to do with self-esteem. Definitely, the Empress is a card that talks about self-esteem, about, self-growth, about beauty, about abundance, about you feeling, you allowing yourself to be abundant, prosperous, connecting with this, feeling good, now that we are in moon in Taurus, in energy, that there's a full moon in Taurus today, I believe. The Empress is very much about this, about you accepting yourself and loving your body and loving, every part of yourself. But we have the Five of Swords next to this. So probably for her, it has been challenging to love herself, and to, maybe accept herself fully, I think that there's something with the Empress in the middle that it has to do with image. It has to do with how we look. Or maybe, she went through certain challenges where, the way she looked, maybe it was like it was something that people were talking about, or it was something that it was pointing out to her. And it definitely was like very negative. Like maybe people, the comments that they made about her appearance, they were very negative, because the Five of Swords is about, this feeling of defeat, like, oh, you guys, what you're saying of me, it really hurts my feelings, what you're saying of me, what you're thinking of me. But also the Five of Swords is about, fighting back. The five is conflict. So, I think that she didn't stay quiet, and she grew, and she learned from this experience, this hostility, I would say, against her potential to growth. Because I think that with the Empress, definitely, I think that Wasa is like the representation of this Empress, of the feminine, the divine feminine, that, the feminine, it doesn't have to be of one shape, or one hair color, or one skin color. The Empress comes in many shapes and sizes and colors. We are not like, oh, the Empress it looks like this, you have to be like this. No. And I think that for her, it must have been challenging, trying to feel good and feminine. When you're like, wow, I'm looking good. I'm looking like a beautiful woman, my version, with my features, with my conditions. And somehow her feeling like, they were feeling that there were people that were literally like, being aggressive towards her. But I think that this is part of her attractiveness as well, that maybe she went through a sort of glow up, she went through an acceptance of her own body, her own appearance, her own talents as well. This is about her probably, overcoming all this hostility and being able to grow and just, maybe individually, maybe herself, like using her image as a way of, okay, I'm going to fight back, and I'm going to grow, and I'm going to expand, and I'm going to show you my value. The Empress in the middle is like, yeah, there were challenges, there were, I would say, obstacles even. And we have the Seven of Pentacles. So I think that this is something that maybe for Hwasa, at least I think that maybe from where she is from, not internationally, but maybe from Korea, there will always be something that, people will be like, oh, that's not good enough. Or like, yeah, we did like that song of hers, but this about her I don't like. So I think that with the Seven of Pentacles, there's this feeling of like, she has to be patient with, not with the haters, but I think that she has to somehow take a breath, take a break probably, and understand that people's mentality are not going to change. People over there are haters, and they probably don't like that she's so proud of her body, or that she's so proud of herself, or that she's showing herself, or that she's praising herself. There's something about it. But I think that probably Wasa represents a sort of type of woman or womanhood that is threatened to certain people. There's something about her expression that it bothers other women or men. It could be both. But the Seven of Pentacles is like, this is an issue that, it is going to take, I don't think that it's going to be fully resolved. I think that it will always follow her around, or, this sort of like scandals of like, oh, look what she's wearing, oh, look what she's doing, oh my god, what did she do now? I think that people are, there's something about them not liking her or the way she looks, and that's it. They will not change their minds. It is like this. But for the people that love her and that they love what she does, she's definitely this empress. She's definitely, I think that the more she shows herself, the more she actually reveals herself, or the more she talks about her body, I think that the more successful she's going to be in her career, maybe internationally, not over there, but internationally, or in other parts of the continent. They're going to appreciate her more, because the empress is like, you don't hide your beauty. You walk, you show them, your beauty, your essence, everything. You be feminine always. Don't hide, don't cover yourself. You are beautiful like this. Like the way you are beautiful. You are the representation of the divine feminine. So don't cover yourself. Don't apologize for looking the way you look, because she's healthy. But yeah, heal thyself, definitely. Definitely, it has, I think that maybe people that love Wasa, they know of her, probably journey to learn to love yourself, to heal herself. There's some wounds in her, certain things being said to her, even to her face, or to her family, or to her loved ones, that it really offended her. It really stuck with her. And I think that she will need, a lot of therapy, a lot of being surrounded by the right people, her being patient with herself, and also understanding that these people talk from their own frustrated and sad lives. This is why they are so negative towards her. Because she's successful, because she's growing, because she's advancing in her career, in her life, and she is an empress, so she has the potential of even building her own family. She's a very feminine woman, a very abundant woman, very fertile woman as well. So she is going to be a great mother someday. But yeah, people are mean. Okay, guys, I'm going to go for today. Thank you so much to everyone that joined. And yes, I will see you on what day are we? I will see you on the weekend. I will see you on Sunday. I'm already lost. I don't know what day it is today. Yeah, I will see you on Sunday. That I'm going to do readings for real couples of the Korean or Asian entertainment business. So if you know of someone that it would be interesting to read for them to see how they're doing, because I want to see new names. There are certain duos that I read for before that I'm not going to read for again. So if you have, if you know of some couples, please leave it in the post that I created in the post in the community post section, so I can read for them on Sunday. Okay. But yes, see you then. Thank you so much for joining.